Good morning, children, and welcome to Class 5 Social Studies class. So today we are going to learn about the solar system, where we will be having an awareness on the different types of satellites and their importance. So what are these satellites? In our previous class, we studied about the sun, we studied about the planets, we studied about the stars, right? The heavenly bodies. But today we are going to learn something about the satellites. Right. Before that, we will recapitulate. How many we have learned last in our last class? How many planets are in our solar system? There are 8 planets in our solar system. Okay. What are the largest and smallest planets in our solar system? Jupiter is the largest and Mercury is the smallest. Name the planets that are closest and farthest from the sun. Closest is Mercury and farthest is Neptune as of now. Because earlier we used to have 9 planets and Pluto was also been an added planet over there. So 9 planets, out of which Pluto was the farthest planet. But when we see because of the fartherness, as it is too far, it has no living on it, first point. And the second point, it is too far away, where it is not having the features of the planet, and that is the reason why it has not been taken into the consideration. Until now, it has got reduced to only 8 planets. When we were young, we used to study that we have 9 planets and Pluto is also a part of it. So heavenly bodies are something where they will change. They will be changing. We will be finding so many changes on that. Which planet goes around the sun in least time? Why? Mercury goes within 88 days and Earth 365 days, right? So why it takes only less time? Because it is near and it is the smallest. Why are some planets very cold? As these planets are far away from the sun, these are very cold. Neptune, Uranus, these are far away from the sun. So the sun rays are not falling directly on the planet, and that is making the planet cool, very cool. Earth is at a minimal stage where it is getting the temperature from the sun. So let's discuss on some of the things. Observe figure 4 and 5 and answer the following questions that follow. So children, which object is moving around the earth? What is the object that is moving around the earth? Is the object moving in a fixed path? Is this object natural or man-made? Which object do you think is moving around the earth? So which object is moving around the earth? What is that? Guess. It's a moon. Is the moon moving in a fixed path? Yes. Is this object natural or man-made? Natural. Moon is natural. In figure 5, which object do you think is moving around the earth? Satellite. Is the object moving in fixed path? Yes. Is this object natural or man-made? This satellite is man-made. Write any one similarity between the objects moving around the earth. Any similar, they move in a path. They move in a fixed path. Now, let's watch a video and know more about what are the moons and artificial satellites.
The moon is only natural satellite. It is about 385,000 kilometers away from our Earth. As the Earth revolves around the Sun, the Moon revolves around the Earth. It takes 27 days to complete one revolution around the Earth. Surface of the Moon. The Moon is cold and dry with rocks and huge mountains on it. There are large circular hollows called craters on the Moon. Why does the Moon shine? The Moon does not have its own light. It shines because it reflects the light of the Sun that falls on it. The Moon is smaller than the Sun, but it appears to be of the same size. Phases of the Moon. We can see different shapes of the Moon. These are called its phases. The shape of the phase depends on the lighted part that can be seen by us from the Earth. The four principal lunar phases are new moon, first quarter, full moon, and last quarter. Landing on the moon. On 20th July 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to step on the moon's surface. The other two astronauts of this mission were Edwin Aldrin Jr. and Michael Collins. Tides. Although the gravity of the moon is 1/6 of the Earth's gravity, it can pull the water of the seas and oceans on the Earth and cause tides. The water of the seas on the side of the Earth facing the moon is attracted upwards, causing high tide. Eclipses. When the light of the sun is blocked by the moon or the Earth, a shadow is formed. This is called an eclipse. Eclipses are of two types: solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse. While revolving around the Earth, sometimes the moon comes between the sun and the Earth in a straight line. The moon casts a shadow on the Earth, and the people in the shadow of the moon cannot see the sun. This is called a solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse. Sometimes the Earth comes between the sun and the moon, and the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. When this happens, a lunar eclipse takes place. Artificial satellites. An artificial satellite is a man-made object that revolves around the Earth. Like the moon, artificial satellites reflect the light of the sun and can be seen at night. Aryabhatta, the first Indian satellite, was launched in the year 1975. India has more than 100 artificial satellites. Uses of artificial satellites. Weather forecasting. Some satellites are used to study atmospheric conditions from space and to forecast weather. They send information and pictures of storms, cyclones, clouds, etc. Scientific research. Some satellites gather data about the composition of space, planets, stars, and other distant objects. Communication. Communication satellites are used as relay stations, receiving radio signals from one place and transmitting them to other. They are used for radio, television, phone, and internet transmission. Exploring the Earth. Some satellites help us to locate mineral deposits and to detect the spread of a disease in crops. Navigation. Navigation satellites are used to provide information of accurate location. The Global Positioning System, GPS, works with the help of these satellites.
Understood the uses of satellites, what are satellites and how are they made and all. So let's read and learn some more here. Let's find out. Satellites. Just as the planets move around a star, Some smaller objects move around most of the planets. These objects are called moons or natural satellites. The Earth has only one moon, and Mars has two moons. Jupiter and Saturn have more than 50 moons, and Mercury and Venus do not have any moons. So, this is something where a natural satellites will be there, like a smaller objects, and they'll be moving around a star or a planet. So, for example, just see here, Jupiter and Saturn have more than 50 moons, and we have only one. And we will say that we have only one, and Venus do not have any moons also. So, we also sent many man-made satellites into the space. They also moved around the Earth just like moon. These satellites help us in many ways, like weather forecasting, locating places on Earth, telecasting television shows, and communication. So there are so many things that are happening in our universe. So if you could say that many satellites have been sent into this space, and there is not only India, there are so many countries which have been sending all these things, and there was a lot of waste which has been there. There's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of pollution in the airspace also. The reason is the objects which are made to take the satellite towards into this space, they get diverged, they get away from the space, and they revolve, they're just moving around the earth, the universe, like a dispersible objects. So, did you know Sputnik 1 was the first man-made satellite that was sent into space in 1957. India sent its first man-made satellite in 1975 and named it Aryabhatta, after the famous Indian astronomer of the ancient India. So this is something about the satellites. So tomorrow we will do a small exercise and we'll understand what are the uses of man-made satellites. So we have seen what are the uses of man-made satellites in the video. We'll recapitulate again. Uses of man-made satellites are weather, forecasting, locating places, telecasting, television shows, and communication. So children, coming on to the conclusion, today you have a home assignment where you have to observe the diagram and answer the following questions. So this is the thing, object A. What is object A that you have to find it out? That's Earth. And what is object B? Moon. So you have to identify and write one difference between object A and object B. What is Earth? Earth is a planet. What is Moon? Moon is a natural satellite. So you can just identify the differences between the Earth and the planet and the satellite, uh, and then finish off the homework. Thank you so much, children, for your time.